Oh, wasn't sure. Split bottom. Circles. Romance angels. Split bottom. Okay. So far it's all Oracle decks. I don't know about tarot yet. Also not sure what deck, but Temperance, which came up the other day. It's a timeline jump or a dimension shift. It's happening. It's happening. Oh, and look, she's holding bowls, like the singing bowls. I'm hearing receiving, balance, open, observing, calming. This is a period where you are going to have to wait. I'm all confused about where the effing camera is because I moved it again, so it's back over here. If you watched the previous reading, it was a hot mess. There is a period you are in right now that is going to require waiting because it is more divinely led right now than active. Let's take that back. It's divinely led right now, and there may be actions that you need to take in the 3D world. Definitely, there's a lot of mental. There's a lot of like realigning your chakras, which means you are just fine-tuning and getting those, your inside receptors, like your central nervous system, your lymphatic system, all of those things, the cells, all of those things, you get and your muscles, I'm hearing. There's some inflammation, there's some not disconnect, but like disjointedness. And so it's just the last parts of like smoothing that out and smoothing your mental mess so that you can fully receive what's about to come. There's definitely a temptation, or there has been, and wherever you choose, this is about impulses, holding off on impulses, recognizing more clearly when the things you're drawn to are coming from a lower vibration. How can you tell? What are the signs for you that this is a lower vibration? If there's fear, if it's not danger, like even when there's, so here's my experience. In moments of danger, like literal danger, I'm not afraid in that moment. There is a recognition of fear, but it is immediately replaced with a very present. Like I'm very present and I'm in like chess move mode. Do you know what I mean? I'm in strategic mode. The fear comes later. In other moments where I'm confused or there's an emotional component and a fear that's heavy and a feeling of desperation or disconnect. That's a low vibration that's coming in. Feel me? So it's about, for you all watching, just helping yourselves to recognize the differences a little more and to know that whatever your heart, whatever your goal is, what's the right word here? Hold on a second. Hearing to pick up the stem jar. Purpose. It's tied into your purpose, but it would show up to you as like a dream, like you've always dreamt of this, or like your heart is leading you to that. I got to think of a better way to describe that, but that's where you're headed. That's what you've been working toward. And resisting this temptation, resisting the choices to continue making the choices that you've made that have led to stagnation, resisting those is so worth it. It's worth it right now. No immediate gratification, no instant gratification is worth keeping you from what you're meant, which is your abundance, your personal abundance. This waiting and having faith and calming yourself and recentering is worth it. It's worth it. And you know it, and you've seen enough, you've experienced enough to know that it's true, but there's still, whatever you're leaving behind isn't easy. It's heart-wrenching. It's wounding and full of grief, you know? You've done so much healing and you have separated yourself largely from that grief, but it's still present on some level. Stimmy stims. So pretty, right? Okay, so let's see what Moonology card came out. In reverse. These don't matter in reverse. Balance, spirituality, and practicality. Full moon in Pisces. I'm hearing balancing your yin and yang. It's fine-tuning that yin and yang. It's those last tending tos. Something feels off. I don't know what it is. Oh, let me drink water. That might be part of it. It's time to release negativity, full moon in Scorpio. So 2 full moons. What's the next full moon that's coming up? There's one coming up in the beginning of May. Oh, look at that. What's underneath that? Meditate and contemplate, new moon in Pisces. So we have 2 Pisces coming out. Pisces energy. Third eye, throat. Yeah, you have to clear out this last... You have to clear this heaviness out as fully as possible so that there's space for the new to come in. There's some, well, let's look at this one. Well, yeah, let's look at that. I know I feel very, very scattered inside. Well, not very, but definitely, and like distracted a lot and kind of like that on the inside. So I'm not sure what that is, but I just want to explain that that's what's going on with me. And it's it's blocking me from being able to fully be present and receive. Maybe I'm hearing movement. Movement is important for you guys watching this. It'll help release stuck energy. There's a lot that is built up in you, and it needs to be released a little bit more in some kind of movement. It could be like doing laundry. Do you know what I mean? It's just some kind of movement that helps release partially stress, but mostly the stress of your energy being confined, about to burst. Like if you have a carbonated drink and the cap is on and it's in a bottle and you shake it, right? It needs to come out. I feel like it's not as like urgent, but it might be for some of you. My phantom seed ear seeds, which I don't have on, but my acupuncturist gives me sometimes, are needing I can feel them. So that for me is like a sign that my channels are blocked. Feel me? 34 circles. Clarity begins in the eye of the storm. Like I was saying, like in a situation when it's dangerous, I get clarity, very clear on what is happening and what actions to take. Do you know what I mean? And it's in the middle of like something extremely excessively, like a car accident once, where I ended up, my kids were in the car, hit the median, spun around on the highway, did a 360, ended up on literally two wheels, went over the side guardrail, down the hill, and stopped like 10 feet from smashing headfirst into a tree. The guardrail was like that. There was the guardrail, and then there was like a big old hill. I don't know. We all were fine. Well, I had had a surgery like 6 weeks prior, and so I was still healing from that. And from where my seatbelt was, it caused a tear. But anyway, we were all fine. But during that whole thing, I was so calm. I wasn't freaking out. The kids were kind of freaking out. I was very like, everything slowed down and I could just see everything. And I was just super present in the moment, just kind of observing but being on alert. And, realizing, oh, we're up on two wheels. Okay, now we're not up on two wheels. Oh, we're going over. And I said, the kids were just kind of like, what the fuck? They were kind of like where I am, but a little bit more vocal. Sorry, it's not funny. And I was just like, we're going over. And then my middle kid was like, we're going over? What? And I was like, yes, we're going over and we're going to be fine. And they were like, ah! But they were also, they know me, right? So they know I'm not lying, but the situation is really effed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, woo, woo. Yeah, they were pretty young. This is like 2015. So 8 years ago, it's a long time ago. Yeah, and then we went over. And then the car started smoking and whatever. But yes, so clarity begins in the eye of the storm. What is the lesson? What lesson comes to mind right now for you that you have learned that has really been significant through whatever this period of your life has been that you are moving out of? I want to say moved out of. You have moved out of it. It's still the echo of it. It's the echo of it. It's the residual vibrations. It's not even like we humans are susceptible to vibrations, right? If something is moving, a wave, an energy wave, it causes a vibration. It just depends on how attuned you are and what level you're vibrating at, how it's going to affect you. So this is really just the echoing waves of something that happened really ancestrally, way before you as this human existed. But in your life, your events were a long time ago. They're in the past at some point, and you really have moved out of them. Look and see what you're still behaviorally contributing to, behaviorally engaging in, that contributes, that is an echo of your low vibrational responses. It's probably some kind of confusion, you know what I mean, where you do something out of confusion in order to get clarity or closure. You feel me? Or you do something that you're like, what's coming up to me is disordered eating. So trigger warning for anyone. I am a recovering anorexic. I've over 10 years now. 10 years in January. It was just 10 years this past January in recovery. But when you are choosing recovery and you're coming out of all your disordered behaviors, intuitive eating, emotional eating, these are things that non-disordered people can do. And if you're used to like emotionally eating and then binging, or you think you've told yourself you're binging, though you may not have been binging, but your body reads it as that, it's confusing to know, like, I'm upset right now and I'm drawn to like going to eat something. Well, is that healthy? Is that non-healthy? Is this disordered, not disordered? And the thing is, it is non-disordered. It's a completely healthy thing to, and a common thing to go and eat something when you're upset. It's serotonin and dopamine, right? I think that's the connectors there. The difference that makes it disordered is that disordered people either can't stop when their bodies are saying, okay, you've satisfied it. They don't stop. They don't know how to they do recognize it, but they tell themselves they don't, or they guilt themselves for it and then go try to make up for what they just did. Do you feel me? So there can be confusion. You might make a choice and be unsure. Just look for the feeling of fear in when you're making the choice. Look to your insides. How are you feeling? Did it alleviate? Do you feel peace or chaos? Where are you on the peace to chaos meter? When you take an action and you're unsure about it, did it just bring you closer to peace or closer to chaos? If you can't tell, then pause. Pause. So you can let the vibration, you just move, like if you're in the water and you move through a wave, you stop, right? Everything has to adjust for a second. Allow for that adjustment. Kind of maybe, if this is helpful, even though this is not what it is, but try to maybe view energetic fields as water waves, and how it is when you're in the ocean, because that's the closest thing probably, although air, but we'll just stick with water right now, because there's a pull. It's going on and it's going around you, and it you know what I mean? It's hyper tuning your awareness. Let's look at the book for this, Because I feel like it's implying like to not, that there's part of you possibly continuing a circle of negative behaviors, but it could also be a circle of your soul tribe. You know what I mean? It could be recognizing the new energies available that sustain your highest vibrational self. You feel me? Let's see what it says. This is in the crone phase: acceptance, integration, reconcilement, and wisdom, which is exactly what we were picking up on with this thing that you're healing from is in the past, right? You've come a long way. You are your white horse, ever equipped to venture forward. Let's read the prompts. There's like a bunch of journal prompts. I'm going to read ones that stick out. Where in your life do you feel stuck and not know what to do? Write out the inner dialogue or thoughts surrounding the areas from the previous prompt. Review what you have just written and notice areas where there's a logic or lack of logic to your inner dialogue. Highlight any incongruent thoughts and emotional processes that are at play and make a note of the effects of them on you. It's all going right with what we're picking up on, right? See if you can unpack any existing conflicts and desire for clarity on what you actually want. Unpack any existing conflicts and desire for clarity on what you actually want. Notice if there is a trajectory of any emotions that you typically cycle through. Notice any instances that send your confidence spiraling downward and determine whether this negatively impacts your ability to break out of any circular life patterns that you wish to be free of. It's just all confirmation, right? List anything and everything that you can do about what seems to be preventing you from venturing beyond your revolving doors. List anything and everything that you can do. List anything and everything that is a possibility to choose. That is a possibility, because I feel like some of you might immediately be crossing things off because you see these options as not able to do, but it's fear-based. You feel me? So list all potentialities that exist about actions you can take. Highlight what is presently propelling you forward and brainstorm how you can increase its positive presence, influence, and effect in your life. Make a list of capable and appropriate people who can be called upon for help and support as you venture beyond life as you have known it. Circles that spiral downward are the effects of unconscious repetition and confusion. In this sense, we are the ones who prohibit us from venturing forth upon new ground. We can kind of forget that if it's tied into an action that someone else did. And so we are still kind of blaming that or looking at that instead of seeing where we've grown out of it. We've learned a lot. Yes, it still hurts. Some pain will always be there on some level, but you can get it down to 0.00001. Do you know what I mean? Because that's how small it will become. It will still exist until or unless that external force heals it. Some things are like that. So, and that doesn't always happen, that the external force that caused the pain is the one that can come in and heal it. We can heal ourselves. And we can. It's like, I don't know how to explain it exactly. there's a level of healing ourselves that we are able to reach, and that is going to be how far we remove ourselves from it. Do you know what I mean? I hope this makes sense. To acknowledge that we do not know what to do about something, we begin to see with increasing clarity, logic, desires, and emotions what is confusing and therefore prohibiting us. Once we can see things for what they are, we can recognize what we can do about them. There is always more than one way out of any circle. You are ready to be free and go forth. Focus your attention on who you are without the loops, fears, distractions, and preoccupations. There you go. That's going to be helpful for a lot of you who are like, I don't know what to do. Who are you without this? If this wasn't happening, if you loved yourself to the highest capability, what would you accept? What would your life look like? What wouldn't you accept? Do you feel me? Steps back to like look with an open eyes and be wide open and an observer, not judgment on yourself. In other words, focus on who you would be and what you would do without the problems, drama, impossible lifestyle, or comfort zone you may be circling. If we do nothing different happens. So, this really feels, and these readings have felt like this, that it's just this like one area, you know what I mean? You're 99% of you, 98% of you is in the new timeline. Well, 100% of you is in the new timeline, but there's like 1% of you, 1% of that 100% is still, I want to say connected, is still contributing to the connection of something that really is detrimental to your spirit, to your existence. What is the romance angel card? Oh, wait, we didn't look on the, well, let's go to the romance angels card and then we'll go to look at the split in the bottom for the Lantern Oracle, which was the John I just read. Forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. Forgiveness is for you. It's for you. It sets you free. Because you're not carrying the weight of the pain of what someone else did to you. You're not carrying it anymore. Very soon, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. That's back with this. You don't have to engage in every battle or every psychic hit. Take what you know to be true, about the truth about yourself, the highest truths about yourself, and let those inform. Give them a space in your solar plexus. Give them the seed is planted in your root chakra. Put the root of it there and then watch it grow up through your chakras. It'll start as a seed in your root chakra, and then you visualize it growing. It's growing upward, it's expanding, because it goes root to crown, right? So we're thinking of it as a tube. So we're here. There's a seed and it's going through your sacral, and then it's going through your solar plexus. That is where it's going to stay. But that is where the nucleus is, but then some of it opens to bring in from the crown, from the third eye, from the throat. That all mixes in with the heart and goes into the solar plexus. Do you understand what I'm saying? Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. So this is connected for many of you about a partner, a romantic, intimate partnership. And it's either, for some of you, for someone new entering. You have to be, in order to have that, in order to have that partnership you seek, the most fulfilling one, you need to be that for yourself first, for yourself, and maintaining it, and you are. So keep fortifying it, okay? Let's see what was on. Oh, this is the split. You'd think, I don't know why my brain gets confused. I do these all the time. Lantern, consciousness is light. Ooh, what? Oh, this is a dope. This is dope. Dang. Okay, this image is, look at, she's got two. Balancing, right? Pulling that yin and yang, dark and light, feminine, masculine. I mean, this is sick, right? This is the Lantern Oracle deck. We'll look at that. And let's see what the bottom. Inner life. Your inner life is a garden to be cultivated. So we had 34 in circles, 44 in Lantern, and 43 in inner life. So 43 and 34. And then in order, 44 and 43. But look at the similarities too. And look where that is. That's solar plexus. I guess we're going to look at this. Metamorphosis number 11. Power and strength lie within our surrender to change. Again, look at the spot that's illuminated. That looks like a heart. And that's, we're talking about your sacral. No, your solar plexus and your sacral. But solar plexus. Okay. Funny that I said sacral. That might be where, for some of you, where your core wound is connected to. So you can Google search that. Core wounds, sacral. And see what comes up, or whatever your keywords are. Let's start with the Lantern. Awareness expands as we clear the darkness with light. Oh, it's the Lantern is the last card in the deck. Clarity transforms our perception into lanterns of insight that can illuminate a way for others too. Here's the image at the end. Look at that. That's what we said, right? You've come out of it. The crone has completed this circle of phases and perspectives pertaining to feminine consciousness, maiden, mother, guardian, crone. The lanterns hanging from the featured crone's wrist illuminate her world with the clarity of having integrated her spirit self with herself. You're a warrior. You are an ancient one. And you're about to come into and live everything that you're destined. You have a covenant that is your birthright. That's your human and all of your divine aspects. She has successfully released all of the illusory filters that had created limiting effects on her mind and fed the unhelpful aspects of the ego. The white light of love that the crone is can now reach all that is within her periphery. That's how I see my hair. I used to always say it. I started going gray when I was 21. And then I stopped, like I used to dye my hair, not to color the gray, but like just colors. And I stopped doing that when I was 26. And I've always said that like these are moon kisses. This is my, I was being cute for like all the fucking stress and trauma that I've been through. But that's what I say. I've been kissed by the moon. But that really is what I feel like. It's like white, you know what I mean? How does your white light manifest in you? That's the seed. The white light is what the seed contains that you're putting in your root chakra and that you're going to continue, right? Okay. Without judgment or expectation, she, he, they. But we're talking about this aspect, this feminine aspect of receiving, right? She is now capable of objectively observing all with compassionate consideration and calm composure. All matter. I just heard no revenge. No paybacks. You don't need it. You don't need to seek them out. You don't need to desire for it. No detachment. You know what I mean? No detachment for self. Detachment from recognizing the one in all. All matters in life are neutral. Many are not conducive to the meaning and significance that we impulsively attach to them. When we view predicaments without emotion or the significance it holds for us, how things make sense beyond our personalization of them are illuminated. Right? That's right. Okay. I'm just wondering if I need to keep reading this because it's all reiterating everything else, but I am, because I feel like for some of you who may not, you may need to hear this in a different way. So it kind of just cut off because my medication alarm went on, which is hilarious. Okay. To separate ourselves from the drama, assumptions, and heightened emotions is to see rather than react according to the underlying dynamics at play. So it's about responding and not reacting, and seeing first, clarity, like in that moment of danger, right? Doesn't have to be danger if you just take that, like anything that anxiety, immediately put your attention on the seed inside, that seed of light at your root chakra. I really like that. And inhale, exhale, and stay present, and it'll come. You'll know what to do, okay? And even if you don't know what to do, if the thoughts are not what should be happening right now. This is being. You are centering on being. Feel it go in. Feel the, like, do what you need to do to get yourself in that space. Pull over if you have to. You know what I'm saying? You'll know what the next step is. This affords us access to the empowered capacity to choose whether to participate in what is being triggered or projected onto the situation. Choose. When you've been doing it for so long, an action, and it was born out of self-protection at some point where you were not conscious enough that was what was needed, you're not aware that you're doing it still. Do you know what I mean? And just that awareness is the first step. The awareness is first, and then the action is second. Give yourself grace. Give yourself kindness. Okay? Look at that when you're in that seed, when you're being focused on the seed. Ask, look at that seed and that light as if it's a baby. You. It's you, because it is. It's what birthed you. You feel me? It's what makes all of this skin stuff work. This is all literally a house for that. This is an expression of that light. This human body is an expression. It's created so that this light can exist in this dimension and experience everything, because that experience is connected to frequencies which inform the DNA and the cells and all of that, and then switches to you higher or lower, and whatever you do affects every energy that is connected to you that came before, that is now, and that are yet to come. Do you feel me? I should make merch and it should say, do you feel me? Right? Should I make merch? Leave me a comment. I totally would. I love hoodies and tote bags and hoodies, or like maybe a hat, some baseball hats. Let me know. Let me know. I am an artist, so yeah, let me know. And if you think of a different thing, maybe not do you feel me or you feel me, something else, like a tagline that you think of when you watch my Johns, put that in there. Okay. All right. Thanks. Okay. The crone has shown up to remind you that whenever you feel challenged in life, stop whatever you are doing to ask Spirit Self, what am I being invited to learn here? If you stop and do what we said and refocus on the seed, mix those two. What am I being invited to learn here? And it could just be you're being invited to learn to stay centered. You are strong. You are strength. You know what I mean? Your truth is here. You know your truth. They're just examples. Each obstacle, moment of overwhelm and hardship offers oh God, I just had a really sorry. Something interference is coming in. I'm seeing it as interference. Sorry. Okay. Wow. All right, hold on. So something just came in, and it was a frequency, and this happened inside of me where a memory popped up with someone who isn't in this reading. And that's why I was like, nope, not the time to be pulling into that. It also made me very sad. And so I immediately thought I have to push it out. And then I thought, nope, this is literally what you're reading about, Denise. Sit and focus on your seed. And that's what I just realized is in that inhale and exhaling, is that sometimes I feel like I'm supposed to follow and relive the sad memory. But when I sat there and inhaled and exhaled, instead of immediately trying to decide which to go into, I realized I didn't need to do that. Hopefully that's helpful. And thank you for holding space for me, all of you. What? How do we make a heart? Oh my God, what? Okay. Oh, I forget where, hold on. Geez, hold on. There we are. Okay. Any perceived mistake, wrong turn, or regret plays a part in your pathway to insight and liberation. Please be assured that each currently perceived negative is a presently unlit lantern, and therefore opportunity to see clearer. You could even view that seed as on either side of the seed in your root chakra are two lanterns that are always lit and lighting, keeping it lit and warm. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like a circle of protection, or like pillars of protection. All that is needed for the light to be turned on so that the obstacle, oh, with these. So you're watching me in real time because I'm healing in real time, literally right now. A bunch of things are now being opened up for me. So I am going to just, it's just happening. Okay. See, ear seed. Ear seed. It's not there, but it's hilarious. Stress. Okay. Oh, now is not the time for it. It's right here. Okay, so sometimes, so that energy wasn't me. It was coming from outside. And this is an example. I don't have proof of this, but I trust my intuition. When you are connected to other energies and you heal yourself, you heal them too. Because like I said, what the changes you make in your vibration will then shoot out to everything in the past, present, and yet to come, right? So depending on who's connected in and where they are, you may feel them, and that's what just happened. So what helps me in these moments where I'm suddenly like remembering something, or something just shifted and it's low, and it is, I wasn't this low, before. I look at it, and I used to look at it thinking and with panic. And when I realize I'm thinking and panic, well, I also always inhale, exhale, but if I'm still thinking and panicking, they can like be in opposition. So when I recognize I'm in opposition, I say, deliver me, Lord, from evil. I grew up Catholic. I don't practice that, but there are nuggets that I keep with me, and that's one of them. God, deliver me from evil. Deliver me from evil. Deliver me from evil. And then as I'm putting energy on that, and I'm just continuing to cycle my inhale and exhale, it will dissipate if it's from external sources. You feel me? You know immediately, because it's just gone. You feel better. It's just, this is all about helping you tune in to your signals more clearly so that you can be your best you. And you can be not manipulated by these motherfuckers who know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They know what they've done. Take that. They know it. But you know who you are, and they don't. Okay? Not fully, they don't. Actually, let me take that back. They know who you are, but they haven't experienced who you are fully. And part of that is because of the manipulation that they have projected onto you, injected into you. It's easy to manipulate someone who is unaware of something. Think about how easy it is to manipulate children. And every level of manipulation, whether you have good intent or not. Do you feel me? Okay. All that is needed for the light to be turned on so that the obstacle can be recognized as the positive lesson, tool, growth. Oh, all that is needed is for the light to be turned on so that the obstacle can be recognized as the positive lesson, tool, growth, insight, or gift that it is. This goes with the reading from the other day about the light, the formerly in the shadow, that the light is now illuminating it. The reading before this one. You are always met with teachings and forms that match whatever way you are available to receive them at that moment. You just have to fine-tune your hearing, your awareness to it. You know what I'm saying? Because it comes in, but if we're not accustomed to it, or something else is more dominant, it can leave. It depends on how strong the signal is, and we have to contribute to how strong or weak signals are coming in. You feel me? Each teaching is necessary for your learning of another, better way in your progression. May you shine the light of your love into any lesson that holds a lingering negative charge for you until it transforms into heartfelt gratitude for and recognition of its supporting role in your evolution. That's forgiveness, that's peace, that's detachment, that's being a neutral observer. That's that technique I talked about in the reading previous to this, of when you can scan yourself for dark spots. They're usually dark. And they'll be surrounded by like an almost uniform, brighter color or a different color. And there will be something that sticks out. You'll see it, because you'll be able to identify which is the positive and which is the negative. You'll feel it. And it's that using techniques to inhale into the dark spots. So like you're now filling it up with light, right? So you're inhaling and it's getting puffed up. And then when you exhale, it's shrinking because you're focusing on this. Wait, I'm not explaining it right. And in growing that, look at it this way. You're exhaling and it's shrinking and releasing. And so there's more space for this, the positive to spread. You then have to shift it to the positive and to filling up the positive and the dark if it's still there, and still releasing. And so you're filling up the positive in both. Do you understand what I mean? Inhales and exhales. But in the exhale, you're releasing and the positive is growing larger. I hope that makes sense. Let me know if it doesn't make sense and I'll try to explain it different. If you don't follow me or stuff, I would love feedback on that. You know what I mean? Proceed in the great neutralizing white light of love, where we may compassionately embrace all facets of ourselves and others. Don't rush yourself into becoming at peace with that negative energy, you know what I mean, and thanking it. You will get there. You will. And you will be thankful, genuinely, because this lesson may have been the hardest lesson you've ever learned, but it has propelled you into your abundance that you've always deserved. And you couldn't have got here without that. You could have gotten here possibly, potentially in a happier way, because both possibilities exist, but this is the way that it went down. You're going to learn the lesson no matter what. You know what I mean? There's always two options, the most positive or the hardest negative. But the lesson will always be learned. That's why sometimes karma is like sometimes the lesson isn't learned for everyone in this lifetime when it happened. And it will keep going until you learn it. That's generational trauma and stuff. And you all are breaking it. Okay, last John. Inner life. Look at the difference between these. This is the being illuminated, right? And that's the integrating it. Let's see. Tend to your garden first. The shadows you illuminate will reveal all the good that they had mistakenly buried with fourfold radiance, strength, and blessings. I'm so happy and excited for all of you. I would love if you wanted to update me on like updates in your life and moving forward in the comments and stuff like that. It would be super dope to hear and see. And it would inform the readings. You don't need to, but any kind of engagement you guys have with, whether it's liking the video, subscribing, or leaving a comment at all helps me feel your energies stronger. You know what I mean? Any engagement, even just watching it, but the deeper you go, the stronger I'm going to pick up on the messages. You know what I'm saying? The more we tune in to our inner light or spirit self, the more we live our outer life through it. The more transparent we become, the more our inner life is reflected back to us through the intimate connections we enjoy with others and our surroundings. We're humans. We're not meant to be solitary. We can have solitude, but we're not meant to be solitary. The whole existence of humans is to experience and relate yourself in relationship to literally everything and being and everything. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That could be another one, who knows, for merch. Without a healthy and solid sense of a self, communing within spirit self, there's only ever smoke and mirrors without. To relate to others from this facade or false self is to forge false connections that create distance rather than closeness. Deep and lasting relationships become possible once we have established such a relationship with ourselves. We talked about that earlier, right? The journey home to spirit self provides us with a genuinely secure foundation to build our lives upon. Coming home to the loving white light within transforms our limitations and blind spots into pathways without. The loving luminosity of our inner life The loving luminosity of our inner life shines through all density, deception, and distractions. All shadows burn into the dusty ashes illusions ultimately are. This is why shadows bury instead of heal what is beautiful but injured within them. Think, right? What is beautiful but injured. This is also why shadows need the light's loving burn to peel away and crumble them back into ash. Our inner life can openly hold space for all of the unaccepted thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and compulsions that we try to hide or deny. We do not realize that buried within our shadows are, in fact, glorious allies with core truths desperate for the light to illuminate and alleviate them of their necessary message to us. That seed of light only goes out, it never goes out. It leaves you when your human self dies, when your human self ends. Otherwise, it is always there. It just might be barely perceptible. How perceptible it is depends on your awareness and what you do to nurture it and yourself. To bring light to our shadow, and when the human part ends, it just releases and goes into connects somewhere else. To bring light to our shadows is to see them as perversions of something that had started off good and got distorted. I'm glad I'm reading this. Regardless of how threatening any shadow of ours may currently feel or may have once seemed, no shadow ever is, has been, or can be anything more or less than the goodness that got lost, overburdened, or injured along the way. Wow. The featured crone supports you in bringing loving light, acceptance, and value to the shadow parts of yourself. All they have ever tried to do is help you. It is actually your help that they need. Shadows need release from the message that they are and that you do not pay attention. Wait, shadows need release from the message that they are and that you do not pay attention to. Your shadows are burdened with the essential information about yourself that you ignore. They need you to acknowledge them with loving attention, compassion, and appropriate action. It's processing trauma. We don't do it because it hurts so bad. Therefore, this card suggests that it is an opportune time to sit down with your shadows and do the following steps with each one. Listen to them with compassion. That means retaining your center and staying present in your highest vibrational good and what you need, and still being open. It's not getting lost in empathy. You feel me? But it's being able to feel and understand what another was feeling, right? It's seeing, really what it is just seeing the humanity and exist and oneness in whatever and whoever that is. You feel me? Honor them with a new and affirmative meaning and significance in your life. Listen to your shadows with compassion. Honor the shadows and the events and the people involved with a new and affirmative meaning and significance in your life. Integrate them healthily by freeing them from the dark with the breathing and the expanding of the light, right? Trust, love, acknowledge, and empathize with each shadow as you shine light upon it to transform it back into healthy alignment with the purity of your spirit self. That's the temperance too, playing in there. Reach out for support and help from an appropriate professional healer or mentor to guide you through the process if you need it. If you're stuck and you're doing these things and you're stuck, it might be time for you to reach out. Tarot can be that, but even if that doesn't help you, if the information you acquire from a tarot reading isn't something you retain and isn't something that is continuing to move you forward, then you need a higher level of care and a deeper level of care and support. It is time to make compassionate self-exploration a priority. A journey into the stillness and silence of your inner light-filled garden is optimal. To establish an intimate communion with yourself, you may feel the need to embrace a period of solitude. Didn't that come up in the beginning? It's not solitary, solitude, right? The featured crone supports you in whatever form the journey of coming home to yourself takes and requires for you. Until this inner process is giving you permission that you don't need. It's just giving you confirmation that you have, your boundaries are valid, and people pleasing or any of codependency, any of those things where you feel like you are obligated to someone else, that is not your birthright. It is not in alignment with you, and your boundaries, you are more than okay to have them. Okay. You require them. And anyone who gives you flack about you implementing a boundary that is for your health and safety and well-being, and they're giving you flack for it, that's obvious. That's not anyone you have to be concerned about, no matter what the relationship to you is. They are not on your team. They are not on your team. They need to sustain that, not pretending to be on your team or sometimes being on and sometimes being off. You feel me? It needs to be something you can count on and trust in. Consistency. Until this inner process is complete, true intimacy with another is unlikely and ultimately unsustainable, for it first needs to be established within. So there we go again with the whole. This is definitely tied into your intimate relationships and your divine partnership. That is, you're either in already and you're deepening it. You're going through a little bit of something and you're deepening it, or you are about to call it in. You're calling it. You've already called it in and you're about to receive it. So how I'm seeing that is there's more than one option that's coming, because both low and high vibrations will be attracted to where you are. Right? And so the more clear you are on you, you'll be able to discern. You don't have to worry about it. You'll just know, because you're going to be in your boundaries, practicing them, sustaining them, keeping your energetic reserve full and preserved, and having an abundance. And you'll know, you'll feel it, you'll be able to tell. You're not going to get hurt the same way. You don't need to get hurt the same way. The choices you're going to make are different. You already are making different choices. Okay. It's time to release myself. Truly grateful for all of the guidance, and I release all of the guides who have come through with the messages. For all of those, the messages are intended for. I release you. Thank you. We're truly grateful. I release all of you. Thank you for coming and sharing your energy with me. Till next time, till the next one comes through. Ciao, ciao.